Elizabeth Wright has taken more than 35 cruises. Last year, on Icon of the Seas, she spent $665.48 on dinner for two, on a ship where dinner was already free. She's an expert. She knew that ship. So why did she pay it? That's secret number 15, and it's coming at the end. By then, you'll know how the main dining room actually works from the waiter's side. The timing, the seats, the requests. So you get restaurant-level service on food you've already paid for. Because here's the scale nobody sees. According to a Boston University hospitality study of cruise dining, one waiter team, a waiter and an assistant, covers about 20 guests per seating. 2 people, feeding 20 of you, 3 courses each, on a clock. The guests who understand that system eat better than the guests paying $200 upstairs. So here's your first tool, before anything else. Tonight's dining room menu is published in your cruise line's app each morning and posted outside the dining room. Check it at breakfast. If tonight's menu is strong, you skip the buffet and never waste a paid restaurant on a night the free food was excellent. 15 secrets. Number 4. Kills the 45-minute line that traps almost everyone on the first night. Number 11 is the moment your waiter tries to sell you something inside the free dining room, and the one time you should actually say yes. And number 15 closes Elizabeth's story. Let's go. Your table has a waiter and an assistant waiter, and most guests never figure out the split. The assistant handles water, bread, coffee, and refills. The waiter handles your order. So when your glass sits empty, you don't wait for the waiter, you catch the assistant. Ask each person for the thing they actually control, and your whole meal speeds up. And where your table sits matters just as much. Every dining room has tables beside the service station, where used dishes get stacked and the crew runs past all night. One cruiser described getting seated there. Non-stop clatter, staff buzzing by, mood gone. Her fix is now the smart move. Check your table location at the host desk on day 1, and if it's next to a station or a main aisle, ask the maitre d' that first evening to move you. Early in the week, they can. And speaking of timing, dining rooms now pace dinner to roughly 75 minutes on some ships, but your waiter can't read your evening. If you have the 8:30 show, say it when you sit down. We've got the 8:30 show, can we keep it moving? They'll fire your courses together. Want a slow dinner instead? Say that too. You control the clock, most guests just never touch it. Now, the line that ruins the first night. Flexible dining. My time on Royal Caribbean, your time on Carnival. Sounds like walk up whenever. It isn't. Between 6:30 and 8, walk-ups can wait up to 45 minutes, worst of all on night 1. The fix. Arrive right when the doors open, or after about 8:15. On Carnival, check in through the Hub app, and it pings you when your table's ready. On Royal Caribbean, book your time slots in the app before you even sail. Same food, 0 line. If that fix just paid for this video, subscribe. I break down cruise money like this every day. Now, the request most guests assume is against the rules. Royal Caribbean's own policy says guests may request a specific table or waiter, and staff will do everything possible to accommodate it. So on night 1, if your team is great, tell the host stand, we'd like this same table and waiter each night, around this time. You've just rebuilt traditional dining inside flexible dining, a team that learns your preferences by night 2. And there's a night when that team has time to spoil you. On port days, half the ship eats ashore, and the dining room runs quiet and unhurried. Formal night is the opposite, the busiest, slowest room of the week. So flip the crowd, save your specialty restaurant for formal night if you want to dodge the crush, and eat in the main dining room on port nights, when 20 covers might be 12 and the service feels private. Now, the requests almost nobody makes. Sauce on the side, a half portion, a double order of that side dish, a dish made plain. Waiters grant these constantly. The guests who ask are just rare. This matters most if you're watching sodium, richness, or portion size. You don't have to accept the plate as printed. Ask early in the order, ask kindly, and it simply appears. And if your needs go beyond a tweak, there's a formal system for that. If you have an allergy or a special diet, the dining room will hand you tomorrow's menu at dinner tonight, so the galley preps your meal safely in advance. Some lines even use a separate prep area. The person who owns this is the head waiter. Meet them on embarkation day and say, "I'd like to pre-order each night so the galley can prepare it safely." Submit your line's dietary form before sailing, and day one is already handled. Next, the rule guests are sure exists, and doesn't. Dessert to your cabin? A plate for a seasick spouse? Allowed. Crew will even put it in a covered to-go dish. Just ask. And here's the proof of how protected this is. As of 2015, Norwegian actually tried banning food from leaving restaurants. The backlash was so fierce, the company reversed it in under 2 weeks, with its president confirming guests can enjoy meals in their stateroom, as they always have. Passengers won that fight. Use the prize. Now, meet the person carrying all of this. A career cruise waiter from the Philippines, interviewed on the Crew Life at Sea podcast, described it plainly: 12 to 14 hours at peak, starting with breakfast service around 6 a.m., and a craft he summed up as learning to anticipate what guests want before they ask it. He said he even tastes a regular guest's usual drink before serving it, to make sure it's right. 20 guests, 3 courses, on a timer. That's who's on the other side of your table. Which explains the next secret. At some point, your waiter will offer paid upgrades at the table: a steakhouse-grade filet, premium cuts, wine bundles, first-night restaurant deals. Waiters are trained and evaluated on this. It's part of the job, not a personal hustle. Here's the surprising part. Sometimes the upsell is the bargain. As of 2025, that dining room filet runs roughly $17 to $20, while a comparable steak behind a specialty cover can cost $50 or more. Say no by default. Say yes when the math says yes, and the math connects straight to Elizabeth. First, 2 quick comfort secrets. Guests skip the dining room because they fear being turned away. Here's the reality. As of 2025 and 2026, the things consistently enforced are bare feet, tank tops, and swimwear. That's about it. Nice shorts on a casual night rarely raise an eyebrow. The one true exception, Royal Caribbean's premium supper clubs genuinely require a jacket for men, and they'll loan you one. Don't let a rumor keep you from food you already paid for. Same goes for couples. Many tables for 2 sit inches from the next couple, close enough to share their conversation. If you want genuinely private, on Royal Caribbean, email the dining team at rc_dining@rccl.com about 2 to 3 weeks before sailing, or ask a head waiter on embarkation day, and request a 2-top away from the service station and main aisle. Those tables exist. They go to whoever asks first. One more night to decode. Cruisers widely report the final night's farewell menu is the weakest of the week, and half the ship skips it to pack anyway. So decide on purpose. Skip it guilt-free, or go because it's empty and enjoy the fastest, most personal service of the cruise in a half-full room. Either way, you now know more than the crowd, which brings us back to a woman with 35 cruises behind her. Elizabeth Wright bought an unlimited specialty dining package on Icon of the Seas, $665.48 for 2, about $100 every single night. And even then the bills kept coming. Surcharge sushi, a tomahawk steak carrying an extra fee on top of the cover, a supper club listed at $200 a person plus gratuity. Her own verdict afterward: she felt pressure to get her money's worth, ended the week burnt out, and admitted she could have eaten in the main dining room instead. 35 cruises of experience, beaten by one assumption, that paid must mean better. So here's the waiter-approved test that protects you. Before you ever buy a specialty cover, order the crossover dish, the dining room's version of the steakhouse plate, on a night it appears. If the free version is excellent, you just kept hundreds of dollars. If it falls flat, now the splurge is an informed choice. Elizabeth paid $665 to learn that. You just got it free. Fast recap. Check tonight's menu in the app at breakfast. Ask the assistant for drinks, the waiter for food, the head waiter for diets. Move off a bad table on night 1. Beat the line. Doors open or after 8:15. Keep your favorite waiter all week. Just ask. Eat the dining room on port nights. Customize the plate. Pre-order for allergies. Take dessert to go. Say yes to the upsell only when it beats the cover charge. And run the crossover test before any specialty splurge. That's hundreds of dollars. Protected by knowing how the room works. Now your turn. Which secret surprised you most? And honestly, would you ever pay $200 a head for the supper club? Tell me in the comments. This channel breaks down one cruise money category every week. Dining, drinks, fees, the free stuff nobody claims. So subscribe, and I'll see you at next week's breakdown.